Hello everyone, I'm Rafael Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. Before we get started today, I wanted to give a special shout out to my channel sponsor, RorikSupply.com. They've been a tremendous amount of help to me when it comes to producing these videos for all of you. Check out RorikSupply.com. They have flap discs, cutoff wheels, grinding wheels, welding blankets, drill bits, burr bits, welding helmets, roll-lock discs, you name it, the list goes on and on. Use coupon code METAL, save yourself 10% off anything that you order from them as many times as you choose to use that coupon code. That's my thank you to you for supporting my channel. With that being said, let's get to work. So we're going to be talking welding helmets today, specifically helmets made by Safeface. Now, those of you that follow my channel, you probably saw a review of this helmet, which is a Safeface Gen X helmet that I did a while back. Now, at the time that I purchased it, I knew that there was some reviews out there that had, there were common problems with the helmet. I went ahead and took the chance with it and bought it anyways because I knew that it could always be used as a grinding mask or a fixed shade helmet later on down the road if I have problems with it. And it was dirt cheap. So after using it for a while, I was like, I really like this thing. I want to get a custom design one, custom graphics, and get me a clear face shield. I tried getting a hold of the company and couldn't get a hold of them. I ran into some issues with email and finding an address, and I really started to put my cyber stalker hat on and start digging deep and trying to figure it out. In the process, I ran into a Chinese company's name, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here with the connection? I couldn't figure out what the connection was, and I just kind of chalked it up as maybe the company was going under, or maybe it did go under, and everything that's being sold is old stock. I wasn't sure. But, eventually I said, okay, I'm not going to dig into this anymore. It is what it is. We'll just use this helmet. If it dies on me down the road, it dies on me. And I didn't pay very much for it. It is what it is. The helmet did end up dying on me. It died on me a few months after I purchased it. It is a battery issue with the auto darkening lens. And because I cheaped out and went with a Gen X model, because they have a Gen Y that looks just like it. The only difference is it has external controls. The Gen X does not have any controls on it whatsoever. No power button, no shade adjustments, no delay or sensitivity adjustments. It's literally just a screen that you put inside the helmet. No cables, no battery changing, no nothing. Everything's sealed in. It's already programmed to work as a shade 10. It's either not dark or darkens to a shade 10. The sensitivity and delay is all pre-programmed into it, and you get what you get. Now, I never really had an issue with it. I was flashed a couple of times by it, but nothing to warrant me being like, hey, this helmet sucks. I've been flashed with high dollar helmets before as well, so it wasn't that big of an issue for me. I did notice that I got a little bit of eye fatigue over time with welding with that helmet, depending on how I was welding. If I was doing a bunch of spot welds, I did notice that. But overall, I was pretty happy with the helmet, especially for the price point that I paid for it. Now, but it did die on me. And one of those reviews, or a few of those reviews, were about their helmets dying, and that was the cause. So I just kind of chalked it up, add other helmets, just set it aside, started using it as a grinding helmet. That is why there's no auto darkening lens in it. I was just using this as a clear face shield and using it for grinding and just a face shield in general, which works fantastic. Love it for that. I'll eventually get the whole clear face shield for it. Chalked it up, moved on. Fast forward to about 3 weeks ago, Safeface actually contacted me. They saw that video and they said, hey, we really liked your honesty in it, and we want to send you out another helmet to try out. Need to jump in here with a quick edit. The company, the Chinese-based company that I ran into during my searches and trying to find out what the heck happened to Safeface is this company here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I think I know what it is, but to avoid butchering their company name. I'm not going to. They're based out of Kansas City, Missouri. Now, when I had done my research prior to find out what was going on, I couldn't find any information linking these two companies together. When I went to their website, there was no information about Safeface whatsoever. There is now. After Safeface contacted me, I did some research on the internet and just searching YouTube and just searching in general, and now I see what took place. It was a sale. They have acquired the company. I don't know all the ins and outs of the sale or how anything went down or the exact date, but I believe I got caught in the middle of that transitional period, and I believe that there's a few other customers that have had issues with their Gen X helmets that got caught in that transitional period too, and was having a hard time getting contact with the company. Now, with that being said, I did notice in some of the videos and just in my searches where people had complained about not being able to get a hold of the company, the current owners and the current representation of Safeface are out there actively on the internet trying to improve their image, trying to improve their customer service, getting in contact with anybody who's had issues, and trying to make right. And that's a really good sign. Despite what you may think of imports, it is what it is, and it all boils down to how much they care about the customer service and how much they care about the quality of product that they're bringing to the customers. And for a company to be able to deal with the customer service during the transitional period of purchasing a company is very, very difficult. I've been in that boat before. You're trying to deal with all the ins and outs of the critical parts of your company when it comes to expenses, overhead, manufacturing, shipping, labor, employees, and just the legal paperwork and all that stuff. And you got so much on your plate. Unfortunately, customers get lost in the shuffle, and the customer service starts lacking in that transitional period. And it seems like they're past that, and they're putting forth the effort to make right and move forward on a positive step. So I applaud them for that. With that being said, let's get back to this video. I was like, okay, I responded, was like, fantastic, absolutely. However, I do have to inform you that my old helmet did stop working a few months after I purchased it. And, but told them I would, be willing to check out the new helmet and let them know what I think. I just wanted to put that out there because I'm not going to lie for anybody. Okay, and they were perfectly fine with it. They wanted my honesty, good or bad. So, they sent me out a replacement lens for my old helmet, which they sent me out the Gen Y version, which has the adjustments and replaceable battery. They're external, so I'll have to drill the hole in the helmet to get it to work, but, it will work with that hood. They also sent me out the RFP helmet. Now, this is their top model helmet. This has the 4 sensors in it. They do offer a model with 2 sensors. Here's the model numbers. It's the 40VIZ. I don't know if that's an L or an I, 2, and the 4. The 2 is for the 2 sensor. The 4 is for the 4 sensor. Okay? I've been using this extensively for the last week or so on Project Pathfinder, both TIG, MIG, as well as plasma cutting on a shade 9. Its shades vary from 9 to 13. You have all the controls, all internal. Grind mode with a light. Sensitivity, delay, as well as shade adjustments. It does have provisions in here for a cheater lens, as well as so does the Gen X and the Gen Y. So for those of you that need cheater lenses, that's there. These do work. Even the smaller face of the Gen X and the Gen Y do work with respirators. I'll put a link down in the description on where you can see the video that I did of that, so you can see that. I have a very specific welding mask or respirator that I use, and it does fit underneath them. So, the good, bad, and the ugly. What I do not like about this helmet or the Gen X that I have over here is the headgear. There's some pluses to the headgear, but there's some minuses. The minus is this pivot here in the back and the tension knobs here. The tension knobs work themselves loose over time. Now, with that being said, I have not used a helmet ever, any quality, any level, that eventually does not loosen up tension on these, and you have to come in there and give it a quick snug up and move on. This just seems to happen a little more frequently. So it's not a matter of can they eliminate it. I have never used a helmet that eliminates it. It's just a matter of how often does that happen. And I think they could work on that with this one. The second issue is that hinge in the back. What I have an issue with is when I lower the helmet, is sometimes when I lift it up, what happens is this hinge pivots. And what it does is it loosens up the tension on my head and allows the front headband to raise up on here, and essentially it's taking off the helmet at that point. So rather than pivoting up and staying on my head, it starts to come off. Now, I could probably remedy that by tightening this down a little bit, but I get headaches from wearing hats or anything on my head, and welding helmets is probably the most strenuous thing because you got weight and you got it tensioned down, and I try not to get it too tight because I'm trying to work. I'm also dealing with, the fumes and stuff from welding. So I'm trying not to cause myself to get fatigued and stressed and headaches while working in here because, that sucks. So I could tighten it down, but I don't. So it's a little bit of an issue for me there. I wish this didn't have the pivot point, and that's my personal preference there. Now, the plus side to the headgear is you have two crown strap adjustments, which a lot of welding helmets only have one. So you guys with weird lumpy heads, that'll help you set the height that your head sits in here better than just having one. Also, you have the center point of your head up here. For babies, like the soft spot, that's more sensitive to things sitting on it. So to have a strap further forward and further back is going to help with fatiguing as well. I don't know if that was on purpose for them, but it's something I do notice and it does help. The front brow pad here is nice. I like that one. I wore this thing around for 3 hours when I first got it, just wearing it around the house like a dummy. By the time I said, okay, this is dumb, I'm going to stop wearing it, I didn't really have any headaches. I felt that I was wearing something, on my head. So you have a little bit of fatigue, but for me to be able to wear any welding helmet for 3 hours straight is a pretty good feat and not have headaches and not just feel like, geez, man, So the weight's decent. I mean, it's not the lightest helmet that I've ever had, but it's definitely not heavy. Okay, the plastic's rigid but still very flexible. It's overall not a bad helmet. Okay, there's some things that Safeface has that I really enjoy, and I see it as a major plus that many other helmet manufacturers don't have, and that's the accessories for them. These 180-degree view masks are really neat. With the auto darkening, at least for me, I don't really utilize the side peripheral, and it's mainly because my brain just doesn't process that information. It blocks it out. You have some blind spots on all of these helmets that are Safeface with the 180-degree view. The transition between the auto darkening and the fixed shade 10 that's over here, you have a blind spot in here because of the frame of the auto darkening. And because it just visually looks different between looking out the side and looking out the auto darkening lens, my brain just automatically focuses on what's easiest to look at, which is right in front of my face. So that feature with the auto darkening, I don't know how much that'll help you and how much it'll hurt. Or how much you just won't notice it, not hurt. I took this thing outside in the bright sun and I was using it out there, and I did notice movement out of my peripheral, with cars driving by and such. So that is something for you to take into consideration. If you like the idea of being able to see that peripheral and you think you'll notice it, definitely look into these. Now, if you are a person that does not like auto darkening helmets, definitely look into these helmets because they do have fixed shade lenses for them. So I wanted to come in here and do a quick edit. I needed to show you guys their website and also clarify some things that I messed up in the video. I wanted to show you guys the fixed shade lens options, the passive lenses, if you will. They're only available for the Gen X and the Gen Y style helmet, which is their EFP lenses. The RFP, which is the new helmet that they sent me, does not have fixed shade lens options at this time. So the shade numbers that they have available are shade 10, shade 12, shade 3, shade 5, and shade 8, plus a solid clear lens. Now, for those that don't know, shade 10 or 12 is what you're typically going to use if you're welding. Those with more sensitive eyes lean towards a shade 12. People with less sensitive eyes typically lean towards a shade 10. When you're plasma cutting, same thing. I typically lean towards a number 5 lens, whereas somebody with more sensitive eyes may lean towards a number 8. If you plasma cut and that's still bothering you at a number 8, then you're perfectly fine with any of the auto darkening lenses because they're range from that Safeface has, because they range from a 9 to a 13. The shade 3. Now, for those that don't know, shade 3 is typically going to be used for those of you that get eye fatigue from grinding with a clear lens. If you have eye fatigue from grinding, the shade 3 is a lot like sunglasses, and that'll also be good if you're doing work outside that requires a full face shield as well as providing yourself some sun protection from your eyes. So definitely check these out. If you guys are fixed shade people, check out their website, see what they have to offer, and yeah, back to the video. And that fixed shade is essentially remove this clear thing and it's all just black, and it's all equal tone and uniform all the way across this entire thing, which means those of you that are like me, where my eye is going to focus on what's easiest to look at and blocks out those differences, and that because you got the blind spots, you're not going to have that on a fixed shade. It's all going to be like one big screen, and that's going to be really good for you guys that like fixed shade helmets, okay? You're not going to find a wider peripheral view helmet out there, okay? So definitely something to take into consideration. The other thing is it's super easy to remove these from the helmet. I'm going to show you on this one. You have these side clips here, and on the interior, you got a little plastic clip right there that you just slide it out like so, and then this pushes out the side of the helmet on both sides. It's another just a little insert clip, like a little rivet type thing, and then the whole face will come out. Okay, I'm not going to take it out because I don't want to have to put it back together in the middle of trying to talk to you guys. But if you look at this, you can see it just slides in that hole right there, and then the clip goes in behind it. So that's important because you can get fixed shades of different shades. You can get clear lenses, use them as grinding helmets. All the headgear, all of these parts are available through Safeface, so you can literally rebuild your helmet should you want to down the road. And those parts are readily available. All the protective, the clear protective screens are available both inside and out. All this stuff is marketed and right there up front for you to order, and the prices and everything should you guys need them. Now, this helmet comes with the cloth bag, little kind of backpack type bag. Comes with 2 protective filters, not including the one on there already. 2 extras, and 1 extra for the interior. Okay? Overall, I'm happy with it. If they address these 2 issues with this headgear, this helmet gets a big thumbs up from me. As far as the main purpose of these helmets, which is protecting your eyes and the smoke and stuff like that, it actually works really well. I didn't have any eye fatigue with the RFP at all. Didn't get flashed not a single time over the week. And I didn't have any smoke issues. Doing plasma cutting and everything, I did not feel like the smoke was getting in under the helmet and me breathing it in. So I was really happy with that. As far as the Gen Y and the Gen X Safeface, here's my recommendation. Get rid of the auto darkening Gen X. Make the Gen X a fixed shade only helmet that you can upgrade to the Gen Y auto darkening lens if somebody wants to drill the holes. The reason I say that is because if you have a Gen Y and you want to go to a fixed shade, now you have holes left in the side of your helmet. If you guys just marketed the Gen X as a fixed shade with options with, sell it with a couple of different shades of lenses, maybe throw in a clear lens, I think this would be a better seller. I think a lot of people would really be interested in it, and I think you guys watching this would be really interested in a Gen X. If you're into fixed shade helmets, this is the one. So, or if you're looking for a good grinding helmet, that's the one. That's it pretty much. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. All the links for all of this stuff, as well as the link for the company, not just Safeface, but the company who now owns them, will be down in the video, the video description. I'll also have the links for the 2 other videos. I think there's at least 1 or 2 other videos of the Gen X down there as well. So, talk to you guys later.